Okay, welcome back, Jabalali. In this tutorial, we're going to look at counting laps. So we're going to get our game to count how many times our car or character or sprite has raced around the track. Okay, so we'll need some kind of finish line or a line that can count when we pass by it. So what we'll need to do now is make sure we have gone onto our stage again. So we're looking back on the stage area here. So make sure you click on there, and then you will need to go onto the backdrop tab, which is just here. So what we're going to do, we're going to draw a line that goes across your track. So the line tool is really good to draw a line. So I'm going to click on there and I'm going to choose a simple black line, okay? And I'm going for a size around 25. I think that should be enough. I don't want it too wide. So I'm just going to draw my line just there. So it goes across my track. And you'll see that it appears on your background. Okay, so let's have a look where that starts. That's not too bad. So it must start behind your character. Okay, so if it doesn't, click on do and move it back a little bit. Okay, so there is my line. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to start coding our character. So it counts these laps. So now you'll need to go on to your character. So whoever you've got here, I've got Gobo. So you must click on there. And then we're going to go to the code tab up here. We've already used that. So we're going to start programming again. So click on code. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a variable. Now a variable is like a place where you store something and you can change the value that you store there. So we're going to score the number of laps. So the variable section is just here. There you go, where it says variables. So I'm going to click on there. And the first thing you need to do is make a variable. So the make variable button is just here. So you're going to make your variable. So click on that button and then you need to give it a name. And I'm going to call it laps. Very simple. Don't touch these buttons. You're going to leave it for all sprites. And once you've typed in the name, you click on OK. And you'll notice that a little laps number shows here as being 0. Okay, so our laps has been created, our variable, and now what we're going to do, we're going to do this. We're going to make sure our laps are set to 0. So we'll need this block here. So that enables the number of laps set to 0 when the game starts. Okay, so we'll drag that onto our area here, ready for the next block. So we want our laps to be set to 0 when the game starts. So we will need that event block that works when our green flag is clicked. So in events, we have the when green flag is clicked, which is just here. So drag that and attach that to set laps to 0. So that will enable our laps to set to 0 when we start. And then we want our laps to change when our character touches this black line. Okay, we need to therefore forever keep checking for when our character passes here. So again, we need that control block that controls our repeat. So we're going to have a forever loop. So that's a repeating loop that goes around. Remember, it's checking if our character touches the black line. So remember that word if. So we need an if statement. So we're looking for touching black. So make sure this is the only thing that you have is black in your game. So we have the black line. So we need that sensing block. Remember the sensing block from before when we used it here, and that is in sensing blue. So just there. So click on your sensing and we want touching color. And remember that goes inside this part of the if block. And if you remember, this is the conditional part. Now the condition here is if it's touching black. So I need to, oops, I'll just make that big again. And remember, you're going to use the color picker, which is just here, and you're going to move that over your black line. And that will give you the condition if touching black. If it's touching black, we want our laps to increase by 1, not set to 1, increase by 1. Let's have a look at that. So that is our variable we want to change. So we're going to go back over here to variables, and if we look in there, we've got change lap by 1, and that is really important that you use change lap by 1. So that's going to add 1 to the laps that you've already got. So I'm going to drag that onto here. Now, we want to give our character time to get past the black line, because if he stays on that black line, the laps are going to go up and up and up. We just want it to go up once. So we want a little pause. Now, the pause block is in here, in control. Okay, so we need pause. And let's have a look at that. If we scroll down, we have, oh, no, it's not, sorry, not pause, it's wait. So that's the block we want, the wait block. And it's set for 1 second. So we're going to put that inside the mouth of the if loop. That just gives, well, maybe I'll change the seconds to 2. That just gives us a couple of seconds to get past the black line. And then it will hopefully give us a lap, number 1, and add it to the 0. So let's try that. So I'm going to press my green flag and off I go. Okay, I've got all the way around without crashing, and there you go. Can you see, if I just stop that, the laps have been set to 1. Now, if I press the green flag, they get set to 0 because I put this block in here, set laps to 0. So try that. I'll just make that a little bit smaller so you can see. So you're going to add that code to your character that you drive around the track, okay? I'll leave that there for you. Try it and hopefully you will get your laps working. Hopefully if you could drive around, you should see your laps go from 1 to 2 to 3 if you're good enough to drive around your track without crashing. Take care and I'll see you in the next tutorial.